This pork chop is bigger than my head. Here are the top 20 famous viral eats in Binondo. Let's eat. If you're looking for the best of the best food in Binondo, then this video is perfect for you. We visit 20 of the highest rated restaurants in Manila Chinatown within 24 hours. We'll be eating breakfast, lunch, merienda, dinner, desserts, and drinks here. And with much research and watching a lot of viral food vlogs, we put together a massive list of the most famous eats in Binondo. And today, we try them all 20 food stops and all of their best sellers. We also give you the prices per dish so you can budget your own Binondo food trip with your friends. Hi guys, my name is Angelica and this is Eileen, and we create budget travel and food guides all around the Philippines. And on this channel, we share with you our easy to follow itineraries and also our costs and expenses in every trip. So if you want to travel and eat around the Philippines in the easiest and most affordable way possible, then hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because we make videos just for you. By the way, this Binondo food vlog is not sponsored, so we're going to be giving you our 100% honest reviews and unbiased opinions. Stick until the end of this video because we give you our final ranking and we reveal our favorite one. Guys, I can almost guarantee that this is the ultimate Binondo food vlog and probably the best one you're going to see. So make sure your stomach is empty because we got 20 food stops to go. Let's eat. So we start off our Binondo adventure at Ying Ying Tea House, which is one of the most popular tea houses in Binondo. And of course, we had to try their tea, which is actually free and complimentary for all of their dine-in guests. This place was recommended by many food vloggers, so we had high expectations. But the question is, did it live up to the hype? We ordered their bestsellers, the shrimp hakao, the pork and shrimp siomai, and the Hong Kong milk tea. And yes, it definitely lived up to the hype. The shrimp hakao was amazing. It was soft without being overly sticky, and you can really tell that they used fresh shrimp and not frozen shrimp. So you can feel the juiciness of the shrimp really pop into your mouth. And for only 125 pesos, this hakao will not disappoint you. For us, this is a 9 out of 10. For the pork and shrimp siomai, just wow. This one was personally my favorite. Many online reviews rave about their siomai, and after trying it, I completely understand. You can really taste every flavor in each bite. It was steamed perfectly, making it tender and savory, and it had the perfect amount of seasoning. Not too strong and not too bland. Of course, you have to try it with their dipping sauce, calamansi, and chili garlic, which makes everything even better. I thought the hakao was gonna be the winner, but for only 120 pesos, this pork and shrimp siomai was definitely the winner for me. This is a 10 out of 10. And now for the milk tea. Long before milk tea even became a trend, Binondo has been offering milk tea for years. And since this is a tea house, you can really taste that they brewed it with natural tea leaves. And even if you don't want to dine here, you can stop by for a quick milk tea break with your friends. For only 75 pesos each, I personally liked it, but others might find it a bit too sweet. So we'll give it a 7 out of 10. Here are more popular dishes in this place. Feel free to screenshot or save this video for your future food trip. Our second stop is Sincerity Cafe and Restaurant, which is known to have the best fried chicken in town. We were surprised to see that this place had 3 whole floors, and we noticed on the walls that lots of celebrities come here as well. Of course, we had to order what they're known for, which was the Sincerity fried chicken. And also another one of their bestsellers was the oyster pancake. The fried chicken was immediately yummy at first bite, and I totally get why people would like it. The chicken breading was crispy and it had this rich umami taste. I even tried their breast chicken part, which normally I don't like breast chicken because sometimes I find it dry or stale, but this one showed no signs of that. It was still tender, juicy, and well marinated. The chicken had a pretty familiar taste. It honestly just tasted like a good old bite of chicken, so it was nothing really new to us. And compared to all other fried chickens we've eaten, it didn't really stand out more than the others, so we'll give it a 7 out of 10. As for the oyster pancake, you can really taste that they used fresh and plump oysters. For those who haven't had an oyster pancake before, it tastes sort of like a tortang talong, but with oysters instead of eggplant. However, the texture of this pancake was a little more gooier than the other oyster pancakes we've tried. But the oysters itself were yummy, and each little oyster pops into your mouth like a flavor explosion in each bite. But if you're not really into seafood, this might not be for your taste buds. We'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Definitely a big thumbs up for the prices though. It's only 215 pesos for the half order of chicken and 430 pesos for the whole. So it's the perfect place to feed a big group of people at a good price. And for 260 pesos for the small oyster pancake, it was actually bigger than I was expecting. Here are more popular dishes in this place. Hidden along one of the narrow alleys of Manila Chinatown, you'll find this humble hole-in-the-wall eatery called New Poheng. Don't expect anything too fancy. There's only one table with 2 seats and no air conditioning. But boy, do they serve a killer fresh lumpia. It tastes just how a truly delicious fresh lumpia should be. Just imagine the perfect blend of veggies, meat, and peanut sauce all wrapped up in a small, delicate rice wrapper. The crunch from the fresh veggies perfectly complements the savory taste of the meat. But what makes everything better is pouring their classic sweet lumpia sauce, which completes every single bite. Their best-selling fresh lumpia ticks off all of the boxes. Good taste, good size, and good price. For only 100 pesos, you will not be disappointed with the fillings of this lumpia wrap. No flaws detected, I'd rate this lumpia a solid 10 out of 10. New Poheng should definitely be a mandatory part of your Chinatown itinerary. Holand Hopia is an authentic bakery that opened up in the early 1960s. They are known for selling traditional Filipino Chinese delicacies such as mooncakes and hopia. It's a good place to buy some sweet treats to give away as gifts to family and friends, especially during the Christmas season or any special occasion. We bought their best-selling mini black mongo mooncake with egg. I was curious with how the egg would taste in a sweet snack, and to my surprise, the eggy taste actually blended really well with the black mongo filling. This was my very first time to try a mooncake, so the taste was quite new to me. Mooncakes honestly don't really match my taste palette, but others seem to love this. Personally, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Later on, we try out 2 more pastry shops similar to this one, and in the end, we'll choose our favorite one out of the 3. Chuan Ki is one of the oldest fast food restaurants in Binondo, opening up about 7 decades ago back in the 1940s. But don't be fooled by the age, because even until today, this restaurant still remains a crowd favorite. I don't know about it being fast food though, because guaranteed when you come here, there will be a long line. Even though we went on a weekday, we still waited about 30 minutes to get a seat, as compared to the weekends where people wait in line for 1 to 2 hours. We finally got in and ordered their bestsellers. First up was the pork and shrimp siomai. It tasted like a pretty legit order of siomai. Juicy and meaty in every bite. But if I were to compare this to the pork and shrimp siomai we ordered at our first stop at Ying Ying Tea House, I think I would still prefer the first one. However, this does give an equal amount of satisfaction for a cheaper price at only 80 pesos. We'd rate this an 8 out of 10. Next up was the kikiam. This street snack is crispy on the outside and is made of a mix of ground pork and vegetables. It costed only 95 pesos, so for someone who wants to try a classic Filipino Chinese street food, this is the one to order. We'll give it an 8 out of 10. Next was the kiangpong. This is a simple yet addicting fried glutinous rice dish. The texture and taste is quite similar to a paella or a risotto, and it had a really yummy aftertaste to it. With only 60 pesos, I give it a 9 out of 10. And lastly, the lechon kawali at 140 pesos. This was the winner for me. The crispy pork belly was deep fried to perfection, giving you a satisfying crunch with every bite. It was just a simple deep fried pork belly, but I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. Everything here was yummy and very affordable, and I completely understand the long line waiting outside. Here are more popular dishes to try in this place. And now for the next stop, which is literally just upstairs. Cafe Mezzanine is actually a very special food stop. It's also known as the Fireman's Coffee Shop because 100% of the profit is donated to the Binondo Fire Search and Rescue Brigade. So you can even consider this place sort of like a dine for a cause kind of restaurant. We ordered their bestsellers, the xiaolongbao and the salted egg lava pao. To be honest, the xiaolongbao was not as soupy as the other xiaolongbaos we've tasted, but the meat was pretty flavorful and not too overpowering. It's a pretty typical xiaolongbao in my opinion, but for 260 pesos for 10 pieces, it does the job in satisfying your dim sum cravings. Nothing bad about the taste, it just didn't seem like anything spectacular. I would give it a 7 out of 10. The salted lava pao on the other hand was divine. Filled with delicious salted egg lava, these steamed traditional buns offer a tasty balance of sweetness and saltiness. The creamy salted egg yolk oozed out with every bite, and trust me, at 150 pesos for 3 pieces, it's definitely worth the price. This one was really good. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. And here are more popular dishes to try in this place. Tin is a classic, the ultimate haven for sweet traditional Chinese delicacies such as hopia, tikoy, and mooncakes. It's quite similar to Holand Bakery, which we visited earlier today, but Tin is even more popular. You can actually find their products being sold in malls nationwide. However, no trip to Binondo would be complete without visiting their huge main flagship store. We bought a few of their hopia flavors and their bite-sized mooncake for takeout, and let me tell you, their treats can get very addicting. With lots of other flavors to choose from, Tin serves as a good place to buy pasalubong and souvenirs for your loved ones. I enjoyed the hopia mongo the most, and it costed only 56 pesos for it. I would give this place a 9 out of 10. We had no idea what to expect when we walked into this restaurant, and little did we know, this place would be one of our favorites in Binondo, Chinatown. Their best sellers are the pork chop rice meal and the fried dumplings. Guys, just look at this. Their pork chop is huge, and for only 195 pesos, you get this whole thing. Apparently, they slice it really thin in the middle and pound it flat to make it look like one giant piece of pork chop. And I actually prefer this method because you get more of the fried exterior, which is always the best part of any pork chop. The meat was tender and the breading tasted really good. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. As for the dumplings, this restaurant really lives up to their name because this was one of the best fried dumplings I've ever had in my life. This is a major steal for only 150 pesos. Not only was the meat seasoned perfectly, but the golden crispy crust on the outside had this salty yet delicious seasoning powder that perfected the entire dish, and I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Make sure to try the food with their special savory sauce, which you can eat with both the pork chop and the fried dumplings. The sauce just made everything better, and it would complete your tasty dumplings experience. If I ever go to Binondo again, I'm coming back here. Even though we haven't finished all 20 food stops yet, guaranteed I'm coming back here. Here are more popular dishes in this restaurant. When we were searching online for the best eats in Binondo, we saw this one on everybody's list. Dongbei Dumplings is one of the most popular food stops in Manila Chinatown. They're known for their authentic and freshly made gucai dumplings. And the best part is, they're very affordable at only 200 pesos for 14 pieces. By the way, this place has no dine-in option and only serves takeout orders. So you can just take your order and eat it along the street. The dumplings have a really nice taste and texture to it, and they're served with a sour Chinese black vinegar. Personally, I would prefer a hoisin-based sweetened sauce or even a light soy sauce. But if you want that rich sour taste with your dumplings, you might enjoy their black vinegar. I would give this an 8 out of 10. And now, let's find some dessert. One of my favorite desserts in Manila Chinatown, Lord Stowe's egg tart. These egg tarts are literally bites of heaven, with a flaky buttery crust and a rich creamy custard filling. Every time I take a bite, I just pause for a while to savor the moment while it melts in my mouth. It's so yummy and creamy, definitely one of the most excellent tarts in the world. Lord Stowe's egg tart is a must-try. We decided to get a box of 6 tarts worth 320 pesos because one tart just isn't enough. This is a 10 out of 10 for us. And right next to Lord Stowe's is our next stop. When affordability and delicious Chinese fast food meet, Mr. Ube Rice and Noodle House is actually owned by the same family that owns Eng Bitin, so you can guarantee you'll get some yummy food here. We ordered their popular asado ube pao, priced at 75 pesos, and their custard lava pao, priced at 120 pesos. The asado ube pao was pretty much a purple-colored siopao. I didn't taste any ube, but maybe they just named it that way because of the color. It had a generous amount of asado pork filling, and it simply tasted like a basic yummy siopao. Nothing too spectacular, but it wasn't bad at all. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. But the real star of the show was the custard lava pao. The warm sweet custard was oozing out on my first bite, and this has become another one of my favorite desserts in Chinatown. To our surprise, it tasted exactly like the lava pao we ordered from Cafe Mezzanine, and it even looks exactly the same. We're convinced that they're actually the same exact thing. But the lava pao here at Mr. Ube is a couple pesos cheaper, so if you're craving for a quick, sweet custard snack at a good price, just come to Mr. Ube for a delicious and cheaper option. I would give this a 10 out of 10. Here are more popular treats to try at Mr. Ube. Who knew I'd love vegetarian food so much? Veggie Select is a quaint little restaurant and mini grocery with vegan and vegetarian choices. They also grill vegetarian barbecue sticks right in front of the store, and it only costs 120 pesos for 3 sticks. You can choose any 3 sticks you prefer. We just chose the tofu one along with 2 other sticks. I actually don't know what they're made out of. All I know is that they're all vegetarian. As for the taste, the flavoring was really good. However, the staff put a little too much seasoning on it, so it was a tad bit too salty. It was almost perfect. So because of that, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. But maybe if it wasn't too salty, I'd give it a 10. However, their natural sugarcane juice made up for the saltiness. They had a sugarcane juicing machine right next to the grilling station, and they extract the juice right in front of you. So you know that it's 100% natural with no artificial sugar. One juice costs 100 pesos, and this drink tasted even better considering the fact that we've been walking around Binondo all day and badly needed an ice-cold refreshment. I'll give this sugarcane juice a 10 out of 10. Order the beef wonton mami. Oops, I forgot to mention the restaurant's name. It's called Wai Ying Fast Food. Okay, now order the beef wonton mami. I cannot stress that enough. It's literally the most delicious mami I've ever tried. Expect to wait in line for about 1 to 2 hours just to get a seat, but that might be a good sign because it's proof that you'll be eating something people actually love. When we got in, we immediately ordered their bestsellers. We got their roasted duck asado with soy chicken rice meal, which costed 320 pesos. The duck and chicken meat were really soft and tender, and dipping it into the sauce that it was already smothered in made it even more flavorful, but not to the point where you would feel that umay effect. It was just the right amount of flavor, and it paired perfectly with the mustasa leg condiment on the side of the dish. This order was a 9 out of 10 for us. The curry beef siomai was simply deep-fried siomai with a bowl of curry. It costed 110 pesos for 3 pieces of siomai, and the curry itself was really good. What stood out the most for me was the mix of the textures. The crunch of the siomai dipped in a thick bowl of curry. I'd give this dish an 8 out of 10. And now, my ultimate favorite dish in this restaurant, as I mentioned earlier, the beef wonton mami. Just imagine a warm and comforting noodle soup with some tender beef slices, tasty wontons, and some thin noodles swimming in a savory beefy broth. For 220 pesos, this big bowl will not disappoint you. 11 out of 10. To be honest, I'm not even into beef that much, but I'd still give this an 11 out of 10.
Let's see if she has the same reaction.
Trust me, you need to try this. Lastly, we ordered a dessert-type dish called guapao, which is simply steamed or fried sweet buns. Just imagine a siopao without the filling. That's what this is. It's best served with condensed milk on the side so you can dip the soft and fluffy guapao into it. I loved the taste of everything we ordered, and this is one of those restaurants that I would love to bring my family to. Based on this video, this mami seems to be the greatest thing in the world. But will this restaurant make it to our #1 stop in our ranking? Watch until the end to find out. Here are more popular dishes to try at Ying Restaurant. To be honest, this next dish wasn't really my type. As I've mentioned, I want this vlog to be as genuine as possible, and we will only give our honest reviews. We ordered Masuki's best-selling original mami, which costed 195 pesos per bowl. But after eating the beef mami from our previous stop, eating here at Masuki was quite underwhelming. The soup taste itself was really bland, and it had this aftertaste that really wasn't for my taste palette. However, Masuki does seem to have multiple branches around Metro Manila, so that's a sign that others may seem to like it. But for me, I'd rate their mami a 5 out of 10. I wish I could give a higher rating, but this just wasn't my type. If you personally like Masuki, do comment some yummy dishes that you would recommend here, and maybe in the future I could give it another try. I did, however, enjoy their asado siopao. It was huge and had generous filling. Plus, the sweet siopao sauce matched really well with the meat filling. But aside from that, there was nothing different with the siopao compared to any other siopao. I would give this a 7 out of 10. Although the food here didn't satisfy my taste buds much, Masuki actually had the nicest service compared to all other food stops we visited around Binondo, and plus points because they served the food really quickly. Now our 15th stop is for the adventurous eaters. Instead of ordering fried chicken wings, why not try ordering fried frog legs? Well, because it tastes exactly the same. It's got that crunchy breaded exterior, and it's funny because the frog legs are kind of shaped like chicken legs as well. Honestly, if you didn't know you were eating frogs, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But of course, we knew it was frogs. So to be honest, we didn't actually finish our order. Don't get me wrong, it didn't taste bad. It was just this psychological thing that we're not comfy with the idea of eating frogs. I guess we're not as adventurous as we thought we were, but I'm still happy we tried it out. Like I said, it tasted like chicken, but still, the idea of eating frogs, I just couldn't do it comfortably, but that's just me. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 because it was something new and thrilling, and the taste was perfectly fine. We also ordered their other bestseller, the oyster pancake. This one was yummy, and compared to the chewy one we ordered earlier at Sincerity Restaurant, we preferred this oyster pancake more. The eggy taste blended better with the oysters, and the seafood taste wasn't too strong, meaning it might even be enjoyable for people who don't even like seafood. However, we did notice that it had lesser oysters as compared to the one in Sincerity. We'll give this an 8 out of 10. Here are more popular dishes in this restaurant. Salazar Bakery was established in 1947, and they offer a wide variety of hopia, traditional pastries, and freshly baked breads. Their store gives that homey, nostalgic vibe, and it's cool because even my mom told me that she used to visit this place during her college days. Salazar products are made without preservatives, so the shelf life is relatively short, but for me, that's a good thing. We bought their bestsellers, the Mongo Hopia and the Tikoy Peanut. I would rate their Hopia Mongo an 8 out of 10. The texture wasn't as smooth as the Hopia from Engbitin, but that just makes this look more natural and homemade. As for the Tikoy Peanut, I found my first bite to be a little odd, but the later bites grew onto me and I eventually ended up loving it. I would give this an 8 out of 10 as well. They sell pretty similar products as Engbitin and Holand Hopia, but if I had to choose my favorite between all three traditional Chinese bakeries, my favorite would be Engbitin. Not only do they win in flavor, but they also win in texture. But Salazar gives that homey nostalgic vibe that you just keep coming back for. At this next food stop, always expect a line here. But don't worry because the line moves pretty fast. All they do is hand you a siopao and then you're good to go. Shanghai Fried Siopao was created in 1985 and it is the home of the original fried siopao. This little gem has no dine-in area, so expect to be eating your siopao while standing along the street. Their fried siopao is always served hot and fresh with a crispy bottom. The bao dough is soft and the meat mixed with kucai leaves inside was very juicy. And it sort of tasted like a lumpiang Shanghai and then wrapped around with a siopao bread. The taste itself was amazing, and for only 35 pesos per siopao, this was definitely the most sulit on-the-go snack in Manila Chinatown. This is a mandatory must-try for every food tripper who goes to Binondo. Oishikun Bites is famous for their delicious and fresh out of the deep fryer bicho bicho. It's a Chinese-style fried donut with a very satisfying crunch. Their bestseller is the milky bicho, which is pretty much bicho but with milk powder poured all over it. It costs only 50 pesos per order, and since each order is cut into mini pieces, it can easily be shared as a sweet snack with your buddies. I would rate this a 7 out of 10 because its texture gets quite stale after just a few minutes and it loses its freshness very quickly. Get a taste of tradition at Ong Pin Manyosa Chinese restaurant, who has been serving people for more than 40 years. It's a well-known restaurant, especially for the OG locals of Binondo. Just ask any senior citizen you meet on the streets of Ong Pin, and for sure they've tried this restaurant. We ordered their best-selling maki mee, which is pretty much mami noodles and pork in a thick, starchy soup. This costed 230 pesos. The texture was indeed pretty thick, and it kind of reminded me of lomi actually. The flavor was very subtle to the point where it was actually lacking taste for me, but I guess that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe if you sprinkle a little bit of salt into your bowl, you could really enjoy the flavor of the maki mee. But we ate it exactly how it was served, and I would give it a 7 out of 10. Here are more popular treats to try at Ong Pin Manyosa. Now for the last stop. Welcome to the Grand Cafe 1919. This place feels like a blast from the past. The exterior looks like Spanish-inspired pillars, and the interior is curated with modern and contemporary furniture. It's a good way to reminisce Manila's past, but in a very laid-back environment. Guys, I genuinely love the look of this place. It looks like a classy vintage hotel, and you can't go wrong with their high ceilings. To be honest, this was our 20th stop, and after visiting 19 different food stops and binge eating for almost 10 hours, we genuinely couldn't fit any more food into our system. But we knew we had to finish the mission, so we just decided to end our day with some of their best-selling drinks, and since it was a cafe, we had to try out their coffee. So we got their classic cafe americano, their muscovado latte, a house blend iced tea, and a simple peppermint hot tea. And after taking a little sip out of all of the drinks, the muscovado latte was the one that stood out the most. The food prices are on the pricier end, but for the ambience, it's definitely worth coming here for a casual yet fancy meetup with your family and friends. The service was fantastic, the ambience was comfortable, the air conditioning was fully blasted, and after a long day of walking around in the scorching heat, sitting at this cafe, sipping our yummy drinks felt like the greatest thing in the world. This place was the perfect way to end our Binondo food trip. I genuinely have no flaws about this place, and I would highly recommend it. And now, We've reached the grand finale of our Binondo food adventure. It's time to unveil our ultimate rankings. We tried a total of 40 different eats within 20 different food stops, all within 24 hours. We weren't joking when we said breakfast, lunch, merienda, dinner, and desserts. Guys, I'm so insanely full, but I feel very accomplished for completing our mission. Ranking all these food stops was a real challenge because everything we ate was so good. And just because some are lower on the list doesn't mean we didn't enjoy them. It just means that the ones at the top were exceptionally amazing. Remember, these rankings are just our personal opinions. We know everybody has their own preferences and different palates, so if you think we missed any famous restaurants or any of your favorite dishes, let us know in the comments below, and maybe others might even agree with you. For anyone who's been to Binondo, comment your top 3 restaurants, and for those who haven't been there yet, comment 3 restaurants you want to try the most. Without further ado, let's jump into our final ranking. And wait until the end because we reveal our ultimate favorite. The 20th spot goes to Masuki. Number 19, we've got Ongpin Manyosa. Number 18, Holand Hopiat. 17, Salazar Bakery. 16, Estero Fast Food. 15, Sincerity Cafe and Restaurant. 14, Oishikun Bites. 13, Mr. Ube. 12, Eng Bitin. 11, Grand Cafe 1919. Number 10, New Poheng. 9, Cafe Mezzanine. 8, Veggie Select. 7, Dongbei Dumplings. 6, Shanghai Fried Siopao. 5, Chuan Ki. 4, Lord Stowe's Bakery. Number 3, Tasty Dumplings. Number 2, Ying Ying Tea House. And last but not least, our number 1 spot goes to, drumroll please, Wai Ying Fast Food. And that's enough food for the rest of the week. On this channel, we normally share budget travel and food guides to help people save money when traveling. We have videos like traveling with only 5,000 pesos or staying at 500 peso villas, and we make sure we break down all of our costs and expenses for you one by one. So if you want to travel around the Philippines in the easiest and most affordable way possible, then please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell below so you're updated the next time we upload another budget travel or food guide. I guess that's it for today. This is Angelica and Eileen Wanders. Never stop wandering.